All right, y'all, so what we're gonna dive into right now is the CRM functionality within JobTread. If you go over to the customers list, you're gonna see a full list of all of your leads and customers. This is inclusive of everyone under the sun that you're gonna be doing business with or potentially doing business with as well. But if you click all leads and customers in the very top right, you're gonna see we have all these views created for you. This is an automated CRM. So it transitions a prospect to a customer to a past customer automatically based off the actions that you're taking in the system. So all this is automated. You're not having to move a person from one phase to the next. I mean, the beauty of having a project management system in the same system as your CRM is we have access to a lot of information about where the prospect or customer stands relative to a job, right? So based off that, we can leverage the data to automatically transition them so you don't have to go in and create different statuses and phases and things like that. So anytime you add a new customer into the system, it's going to be done here in the top right. But it doesn't have to be this way, right? So we can leverage the Zapier integration to connect to other systems like the contact form on your website, potentially to Facebook ads or Angie's List and other things like that. We can connect with those systems through Zapier to automatically generate these customers as leads in the system. So keep that in mind. Definitely email us, support@jobtread.com, if you want to learn more about that. But if you connect with someone on the phone or an email comes through, you can always just create an account as well. So here we can just type in the person's information. Let's pretend I'm the customer. So put in my name, put in the email here, and phone number. Definitely want to note though, you're not limited to these fields right here. You can create custom fields in your settings so you can track whatever information you want about your customers. Lead source, probably the number one thing that most people add, just so you can go and track where the business is coming from. Very important, and we'll walk through that in just a moment. But under add a location here, this is where you can identify where this is going to be happening. So as you type in an address, it's searching Google. So when you find a match, just click on it, and then this will default the display name to be a short version of the address. But if you want to call it like the Blue House or something along those lines, you can always give it a different name. One thing I do want to mention here, this is your most basic method of adding in a customer into the system, but you can do it a little bit differently. And you might want to do this if you work with multiple people for your jobs, or if you're working in the commercial realm where the account name would actually become something like, a company. So Public Storage or Home Depot or whoever you're doing business for. It also could be for a residence. So if you want to say like the Lee residence, and then you wanted to add multiple contacts under, you could click add contact here, and then you're going to add the individual person. So if you choose to go this route, I think it can be a little redundant to have email and phone up here and also here as well. So you choose what fields you want to display on the overall account as well as the contact. So keep that in mind. You can adjust all this within your settings. So again, I would kind of add in the email here and the phone right here. So I will move it from this particular section because I'm adding the contact information on the actual account. One other thing I want to make sure I noted here, this location is the job site. So if you want to track like a separate billing address for the account, add that as a custom field right here. And again, I'll show you that process in just a moment. But create the customer. This will throw you onto the dashboard dedicated to this customer. You have an activity feed here where you can leave comments. This is really helpful if you want to leave like call notes. Client called in today looking for a kitchen renovation for $5,000. All right, so if someone calls and asks that, you're not doing business with them, right? So what you can do from this point forward is you can click edit in the top right, and then you can archive the account because it's not going to happen. So archiving the account, that actually removes it from your list of new leads. So obviously if they're trying to build a kitchen for $5,000, that's not going to happen. So you can go to edit in the top right of the screen, and then you can choose to archive the account. So this archive feature right here will actually remove them from your list of new leads. And you're not deleting them entirely. You're going to store them in the system for future reference if you need to. Maybe they change your mind, maybe their budget changes, but archiving removes them from that list to keep that list of new leads relatively clean. So just to go back and show you real quick, if I go to my customers list and I skip over to new leads, these are all the people that you want to follow up with. And you can see here that the Lee residents, this is the customer I just added into the system. They are considered a new lead until you either archive them or the second option is to create a job for them. The notion of creating a job for someone is basically just saying that we're going to build them an estimate. They might approve, they might not, but this is really step one in moving them over to a paying customer. So what you can do is you can create the job right here, description, let's say this is kitchen renovation. Create the job, and then I can go on my merry way and start to build out the budget for the customer, and then send them, of course, a proposal. That's covered in a separate video. We're going to focus on the customer list specifically. So when you create the job for them, they automatically transition into this list for active leads, which means we're bidding out the project right now, or we've sent it along to them and they have an order currently pending in the system. If they say no, you're going to close the job. Otherwise, what we can do is have that accepted and they would become an active customer. These are all your active jobs, right? All the people that are currently active, you have signed contracts and the jobs aren't yet complete. When you close those jobs, they become a past customer. And if they don't accept it, if they go with somebody else, they're automatically going to transition into closed lost. And then you have a record of all your archived accounts as well. So this is the automated CRM right here, but we understand a lot of people might have something a little bit more detailed, a little bit more intricate. To do that, you can leverage these custom views right here, which allow you to build new views based off the current process that you use at your company. So we're not requiring you to use this right here. The way you would do this is two main steps. One is to create custom fields, and then it's going to be create the custom views. So it starts with settings right here, going into custom fields, and we're actually going to create a new custom field for our customer account. This could be called customer status or something along those lines, but essentially you'd be creating a pick list that allows you to identify the different phases where that customer is at in the life of a prospect to a past customer. So you can create that custom field here, then back on the back on the customer table, you can see here we have access to all the information about the customer, and then we can create custom views that would include things like the new custom field that we added on. So the process of creating those custom fields and then building out custom views, those are going to be covered in a different video, but I do want to make sure you understand, if you do create a custom view for your customers and you save that in the system, let's say we call it customer status, then anytime you go back to the customers list, you can switch to this new view you created, and you can also make it your default moving forward. So that's how you can really tailor the system to include the information that you're looking for and set it up in a way that makes sense for your business. So let us know if you have any questions. Email us support@jobtread.com. Thank you so much.